In this episode of Unpacked,
you get married, there start to be problems in the relationship, the cheating, the abuse.
If I divorce, I will be told by the church, you can't.
You get infected by HIV because your husband is cheating on you.
At 4:15, I got a call from the hospital. They said, no, he's gone. When you are a widow, you lose yourself.
Life is hard enough as it is, being an adult, just trying to navigate all the different fears and challenges that come your way. But can you imagine the difficulty of losing a spouse? Let's unpack.
businesswoman and author Nontutuzela Siko is a mother of three, originally from Yankumsdorp in the Northern Cape. She moved to Johannesburg at 18, where she started a life with her late husband of 15 years in 2002. Together, they started what became a thriving transport business. Little did she know about how she would be received by his family and all that would transpire in her marriage. This is her story. Let's unpack.
We're joined in studio today by Nontutuzela, who has lost a spouse and is a widow. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Relebo. Thank you for hosting me.
So, let us start at the beginning, because before that drastic event happens and changes your life, there are other things that lead up to that. Take us back to the start of your relationship with your husband. What was that like?
I would say that my relationship with my husband was good, but to be honest with you, we've got the up and downs of the marriage.
Yes.
So it has its up and it had its downs also. So that's where we were. We were a good couple, but we had our own problems as couples.
What were those problems that you are willing to share today?
The cheating was there. The abuse
Who
was
was
there.
cheating?
Hubby was cheating.
Hubby, okay.
Hubby was cheating, and the abuse was also there. And the sad part of it is...
And who was abusing?
The same person, which is hubby. The sad part was hubby was a very kind person, very sweet. When he comes here and I'll say to you, this man is abusing me, you'll be saying you're lying, because when you are very vocal. So people look at your vocality, they don't look at the problem that you're facing. So I was in that
Because they can't imagine how someone with a strong personality that's confident can have somebody that's so-called sweet abusing them.
Yeah, they can't.
So you say there was the cheating, there's the abuse.
The abuse in it.
Talk to me about what kind of abuse we're talking about.
Hitting was also there, but he was very wise, because he will never hit in the face. Because even if I'm going to say it out there, you are not going to believe me, due to the fact that I was saying it and I couldn't show you undress to show you the marks. But I had to bear that, remembering that I am a daughter from the pastoral side. He's a son from the pastoral side. So you need to protect the church on that. You need to protect the parents also in it. So it was a hard, it was a very hard way, to live within that.
Oh, so what was some of the other problems that you faced in your marriage?
The in-laws.
The in-laws?
Yes.
What happened with the in-laws? Because I'm sure many women at home are sitting thinking, we know about in-law problems.
We've got this, I don't know, should I say it's an African thing? We've got this where African men are made to be breadwinners. And it's painful when you marry a breadwinner, because now the family from the husband's side, they feel that you're coming over to take over.
You mean the breadwinner of
the family.
His nuclear family,
yes.
And now you are the new family,
yeah.
And they feel like you are taking away from the bread.
Yes, from the bread. And, how will I say it? The abuse, the verbal abuse that were coming out, the words. You remember me now, I'm a Xhosa, so I was married to a Tswana. I was called Umtebele, Here is Umtebele, coming to take our son. Those were the things that I had
Which
to
was said in a very derogatory way.
Yeah, yes. It was very, it was awkward, because you can't say to me, I'm Umtebele, when I try to show you this is not going well, I don't like it this way. Can we do it this way? No. We don't listen to Mtebele, which means you, Mtebele, you don't have to say anything. So there was that kind of tribalism, it's one of those things where you have to fight for everything. There is anything, for your own place.
Were you aware of that type of dynamic prior to getting married?
No. That came out after marriage. That's where I've realized that, no, man, it's like I'm not in a rightful space because now name calling is there. How can a Tswana boy marry a Xhosa woman from the township and they're from the rural areas? This woman can't make a family because they believe a rural person must marry a rural person. That's their belief.
No, because you're diluted and you're there by the city lights. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, that's what is happening.
Now you get married. There start to be problems in the relationship, the cheating, the abuse. Was there ever a point where you said, I'm done, I'm leaving?
There was the time label where I said to myself, enough is enough. You need to stand up. But now here is the thing. You look at the family background, thinking that my mom passed on in an early age and my father got married and I'm coming back from the background of stepmothering and so when you think of having a child, now you have to go back home. How are you going? Those were some of the things that kept me, because I think most of us women is you'll tell yourself, if I leave, where will I go? I've got this child. I want this child to grow in a family where there's love and everything, because I would say I didn't get enough love. Because it was broken due to, somebody else coming in. So my belief is, let's stay and see it work. That was, and you, as I'm saying, you also need to remember and understand that if I divorce, I will be told by the church, you can't, because people think that as pastors' kids, we are perfect and forgetting that we've got our own mistakes, but we are not allowed to make mistakes because we are judged by our parents, by the same church members.
So in terms of that part of your marriage, you're now considering leaving, but then you decide it's not going to be right because of the church, because of
the children.
what people will say. You don't want to have to go home. So you just said, this is going to be my life. I'm going to stick it out.
I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to stay there because I've got the belief. That's my belief. Everything that happens to you in life, it's something that God has planned already. So if I'm going to run away from it, then which means again in the future. So I rather struggle in this space and understand. Because remember, we do have a lot of things that needs to change. And who's changing it? Because our parents will never. So if somebody doesn't go through the process and come back and say, this is what I went through, these are the challenges, here are the solutions. There's no one who's coming with the solutions. Everybody's coming out with the problems. And then who's going to give us the solutions? Because all of us want to run away. I know it's not good. I know it's not. But for me, it was good because I needed solutions to the problem. So if you want to be a solution to the problem, you have to be part of the problem to come out with the solution.
Did your husband ever, realize the error of his ways? Did things turn around for you, or it was just bad until the end?
No. I would say 10 years was very bad, but this last 4 years, it was sweet. Unfortunately, when we were supposed to go to the 5th year, it was short-lived.
What was the turning point? What was it that happened that made him, or let me say, made the years sweeter?
You must remember I went through a lot. He infected me with HIV and AIDS. So there was a time where I said to myself, I'm not going to allow you now to drag me because you are not stopping and you are continuing. And right now, remember, self-realization is a very powerful tool to a person. When you
What realization?
Self-realization.
Oh, self-realization.
Yes.
I got you.
When you now start realizing that I'm worth more and, I can do it on my own. I remember when I was sitting with him the last time, not knowing that, this guy is fixing this country. He's got only 4 years to leave. Let's say 5 years, because it was almost a month before we can 10, 15 years in marriage. So whilst I was sitting there and I was thinking that, no, man, it's enough. I've been sitting for this thinking that it's going to be fine. Bro, it's either I pack and I go. And because I was having a business that I was doing. And I said to myself, no, this business will do, I will start small by small. I'll take the kids and then go start small by small, and be there. So that's when now he started now changing to see that now this woman she means business because
she's going to be on the way out.
Yes, because I stopped everything. I had to stop everything for my own safety because I can't let my children grow in the same situation, something needs to change because we can't. We have to work with the psychological thing apart with the children because I didn't want them to have a bad memory of of their father. I wanted them to have a clear memory of saying our father was good, hide that part and be the good wife as our communities are saying, or as we are reprimanded by the culture to always keep it,
So now things turn around between you and hubby. Do the in-laws follow suit or things just continued as bad as they were?
They became sour. They became sour in a way that I couldn't even go to their place any longer because now I took full control.
So what is hubby saying about all of this?
A breadwinner will always be a breadwinner. I would use this word. I know it's a very rough word, but mama's child will always be... Mama's boy will always be mama's boy because always when we were talking about this, mama was right, I was wrong. Mama was right, and I was wrong. So unfortunately, on the last days of his life, that's when he started seeing, but this woman was telling me the truth, and I did not listen. So it was late already.
And what was that truth?
That your mother doesn't like me. Your family actually doesn't like me. And he was like, no. I said to him, how many times did you call them and say, is there any problem with your wife, with my wife? Did they say anything? He said, no. But every time when they need something, they will use this word, our son's money. And so in other words, I'm sitting there, I'm just this, this deco in the house. I'm doing nothing according to them. He was the only one.
And I mean, if you're married, that's not how it's viewed. That get chelete alone. Ibile, ge monna I puditse gore ke mosadi wa ka. Go tsho gore coming the time that chelete ya kupiwa, tshwanetse a re ke lo bua le mosadi wa ka.
No, in that place, it was my son's money. And I will get it from the son. Mama nakupile or malume or, from home, they were asking for money. So that's how I had to learn to adjust, to say, you know what, I've tried. So let me just leave it in that fashion. It will go that way until I don't know when.
So I'm just curious, being a pastor's kid or PK as they call it, how did you consolidate for yourself the fact that, yes, you're holding on to the beliefs of the church, but also somewhere, I'm sure you're praying for God to give you a sign, to intervene. Now, you get infected by HIV because your husband is cheating on you. Why was that not the sign to say, God, I hear you, I'm on my way out?
I'm going to tell you something, Lebo. I'm still going to say this. When you read Jeremiah 29, God said in his word, he has planned it all. He knew us. So even if I could have gone to stay somewhere, because it was within the plan for my journey. If we can understand the fact that when you go through something, you are not going through that thing because of you are hated. Some of us, we are curse breakers. So you understand when you are a curse breaker, you need to go through all these pains to understand what you're dealing with. So if I was going to run away, I was going to meet it anyway because it was there. It was written in me. So it was me saying, let me stay. And Lebu, the other thing that I'm going to ask you, if I could have run away, would I be able to assist the marriages that are there? Because I do have some counseling sessions with marriages, which we don't get in the churches, which we don't get, So I had to sit there and say, let me learn this and let me, help to save marriages. Because everybody's complaining about the divorces. But do you know what is the cause of the divorces? None of us know. Because we are saying that when it's hot, run away. I'm not saying anyone can do what I did. But for me, I felt that it was good to do it.
I just think about that phrase, Tia Mosadi.
Ke yona eo, just ba re mosadi o tshwara thipa ka fa bogaleng. That's what they're saying. So you have to stay.
Please, Carlos, because we're going to put subtitles on this, but I want you to put it in a way that phrase becomes more literal. So how Mosadi udirang?
O tshwara thipa ka fa bogaleng. You need to keep that knife. Even if it's sharp and it's cutting you, you need to hold on to it.
Why?
I believe, I normally use the statement that says a place of a woman is in the kitchen, and people are saying you are not all right. But if there's no woman, there's no kitchen. If there's no woman, there's no kitchen. There's no family. Because if there's a father, there's kids, they will buy bread, they will do this one will be coming. There isn't any law or there isn't any order inside. We are order keepers in the families, to run these families to be smooth. Sometimes you sit and you see, this is married, to be honest, hi Marilla, nonsense. But because you've got kids and you look at what's happening right now, the street kids, it's growing, the list is just growing, and we are trying to reduce, to have stable families. But what do you do as a woman? You stay there and tell yourself that I will stay here to stabilize the situation. That's why I'm saying when you go through something, you're not going through that particular thing for your own. You are going through it for others so that you can teach others and then pass the bait. Which bait are you going to pass if you are leaving? Because you're going to drop here, and then when you start something, you're going to try. It's going to be a pattern of dropping and moving on, dropping and moving. At the end of the day, when you die, there's nothing that you have left.
Osinontu, so now we get to the part where your husband passes away. What is the build-up of events to that happening?
Hubby went home, I think it was for a weekend with the kids. So when they were coming back, I remember my daughter calling me and said, Mommy, it's bad with Daddy. Can you please come out with the driver so that you can, come out with one driver so that you can come and pick up, help us drive back home. And whilst I was just preparing because it was late, he said to me, no, it's fine. Coming back, looked at my husband, very sick. I didn't know what was happening. He was complaining about a chest pain. Took him to all the doctors that you can think of. What he came out with, it was he had kidney problems. 2 of them were not working. So I had to be, I had to be a mom. I had to run his company, had to run my own, had to be there for homeworks and everything. And I had now to finalize and say, no, you rather go to the hospital because it's too much load. Because I was with my family. His family didn't want to come. They came on a later,
Why didn't they want to come? Is it because of having to interact with you?
I think that was the thing. Because you must remember, we were not talking for the whole, years, 7, 8 years. Now, years the situation. So how do you deal with it? So I had to bring in my dad and to say, please, you need to call them and tell them their son is sick. As families, we need to help each other. So the response was very negative, whereby I couldn't get the response, So I had to keep on going with my aunts and my stepmother and my dad, from my side. And then I had to say, no, you rather go to the hospital so that I can start, hit a strike between the businesses and everything and, be able to run things because you are sick, I'm not sick, but I have to see to it that life goes on. We've got workers and they expect to be paid month end. So if I withdraw, then which means everything is going to, to fall out. So he went to the hospital, he stayed there for 12 days. On the 13th day, I still remember it, on the 21st of September 2017. At 4:15. Normally, he was calling me at 5:15 just to check if we slept well and the kids and everything.
In the morning?
In the morning. So it was our regular, call. At 4:15, I got a call from the hospital. They said, no, he's gone,
What was the final diagnosis?
It was kidney failure, accordingly.
And was it at all related to his status?
I won't know. I won't know because you must remember he was driving also. So I won't predict if it was the sickness or if it was, the long drivings, because we were then, because we have moved from that, we were then in the meter taxi industry. So you know how it is. So I won't be able to say which one was which,
Okay, so 12 days after him being in hospital, and him passing away, was it a complete shock, or were doctors already saying to you, look, it's looking bad, let's prepare ourselves?
No, they didn't. They just said there is hope. Because, Lebu, if I can tell you, I'm a prayerful woman. Let's put that first. I was at the mountain. I remembered when I was just praying at the mountain, God said to me, he's healed. You know, you go to this person, you look at him at the hospital. This person was not bathing yesterday. He couldn't sit, he couldn't do anything. When you come in, how I bathe, and this person is exercising. There's life, and you leave. Now, when you have to come back and check the person in the afternoon, I became sick myself. I had, fever or whatever, because and it was hot that day. I had to put hot water bottle, take out all those pink minks and whatever, put it on top of me so that I can sleep. And I had to send one of my drivers and my helper and say, guys, today can I sleep? I'm tired. You can go. When they got there, my helper he said to them, thank you, this woman didn't come, because she would have never allowed me to go freely. Then the next morning, he was gone.
It's so fascinating that when it comes time for a person to pass away, somebody once told me that death is a private affair.
Yes.
People usually choose as best as possible to pass away from people as possible, especially their loved ones, especially if rebatswer. Okay, so now hubby passes away. Already in-laws have not really been involved. How does your life change from there?
It changed drastically because now I became a killer. I was a killer. I was a witch. I was a bee. I was everything that you can think of in this world. Because now I've called them, guys, there's a situation. They didn't come. My dad said, no, let's just push and see, And the later date when they came, it was already, everything was finished. So now we have to start preparing. Remember, you've got kids, you've got companies, you need to plan the funeral. You need the assistance from the in-laws and whatever. The only call that I remembered, because my aunt had to take a phone from them, because I was very furious that I've been calling you to come and assist. Now you are telling me that I need to send you 20,000. What is the 20,000 for? Are we making party?
Of our son's money.
Yes, I need to send the 20,000 of our son's money. Maybe perhaps they were going to celebrate. I don't know what they were going to do with the 20,000, because I needed them. I said to them, no, you're not going to get any 20,000.
Was this now after he had already passed away?
Yeah, he's still lying at the hospital.
Oh, so before he's passed away?
No. It's still after when he passed on. Now he's still lying at the mortuary from the hospital. So I still need him to come over to assist. But the call that came in, it was send us 20,000. I need to go and pick up this person, send him to our mortuary. But unfortunately, money was the master of the day. So my dad said to me, you know what, my child, you will have to step aside. We, as the family, will deal with other things. Just focus on burying this man. Yes, you had your ups and downs, and your life at the end was good. Just think about him. Forget, other people and focus on what you're going to do. That's how I did.
Ooh, yeah, a lot that happened. So who exactly was it that was saying you are the B word, you are a killer, you are a witch?
The whole family.
So in their minds, you're the one who killed him?
Yes.
And what is the reason that they say you killed him?
I don't know, Lebo. How do you know? Because when a man dies, a woman becomes all those things. And the painful part is, it's not only from the family, it comes also to the community. Where our communities, and it's one thing that I normally tell women, I said, I've got a foundation where I deal with these widows, and widowers. I said to them, you know, married women, if they were wise, they would come and sit with you here because they don't know what's going to come after, you know, death. Because what we are saying, people are thinking that we are telling lies. Because like right now, they said to me, you wanted to be famous. That's why you wrote a book. But they did not understand the reason of me writing a book. My reason to write the book was that no one was listening. Everybody was condemning. You know, they were sitting there with a red pen. You know, if she could have done this, you know, but no one, when the problem was there, no one wanted to take part to come and assist. Now, I had now to make a book, which is, I stood as a mother, I wrote that book. I took my pain, you know, and put it in the book, you know, to say, you are going to listen to me. Because
what
right
you
now,
went through.
Yes,
Yeah.
because no one wants to listen. Everybody has got, you know, you like a pregnant woman when you are a widow. Everybody has got a solution for you. Where now?
That's such a very good analogy, especially considering I just recently came out of being pregnant.
Yes, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
And when you check, nobody knows what you're going through.
I cannot even fathom, because what you're telling me in terms of in-laws treating you a certain way and accusing you of killing your husband, I can't imagine. And it's horrible that our communities and us as Batwabantu still do that to one another.
It is happening, Lebo, and it's there, it's out there. And the painful part is after I had to go to Abo Human Rights Commission to say to them, what are you people doing? Because I was trying to check the rules and the laws that are protecting widows. Seeing my situation, you know, there was no door where you had to, you know, to go and get solutions. Nobody was involved in the widowhood because they were telling you about culture. You know, everything was culture, you know, it's culture this, culture that, culture this. And when you look at culture, people must understand me. They must listen to what I'm saying. I don't like culture because culture goes one way. When it comes to women, culture is screwed. When it comes to a man, culture allows a man to do whatever he wants. I would say this to elaborate that, Lebu. I was not allowed to go out. You know, at this time, you're not allowed to go out. You can't drive out. And you have to stay 3 years or 1 year. But the man can marry within 6 months. So that's why I'm saying me and culture, we are fighting, because some of the things people are using, they are witchcraft to use culture to demolish other people. And that needs to stop. Who is going to stop it? We need to talk about it and face it. Because this is what is happening. And a person will be saying, culture, I've got another lady who came. She's 2 years wearing the robe. They don't.
Still in mourning.
Still in mourning.
I think there's a lot we could pick up on that, but the most important thing will be how you came out of this. After everything that you've been through, you've gone through, you know, losing a husband, your life changes, you decide to write a book. Where are you today?
Today, I've started a new company because, you know, when somebody passes on, you have to leave. So I've started a new company.
As in leave the business?
Yes. So I had to start a new business, and I'm running a foundation, which is Nontutuzela Foundation, where we deal mostly with widows. Not to say other things we're not looking at, but the focus is more into widows and widowers. And being a mother for now, being a mother, you know, because I'm left with my kids, this is where I am. And I said to myself, you know, I want to focus on you guys until I become ready. You know, you can't just move forward before you're ready, because you'll take the wounds of the past and put it to the new relation. So I had now to sit down and, you know, allow myself to go through pain, through all those stuff, and then so that my character might be aligned with the new me that I am right now, where I told myself that now it's time to move on. It's now 4 years. The guy is gone. He's not coming back. Just move on, you know.
Have you forgiven your husband?
Long time ago. Because
while he was alive?
While he was alive. I can't keep grudges, Label. I'm a very, I don't know. yes, I can get angry. Yes, I can cry about it, but I forgive quickly because I don't know what tomorrow brings. The problem with us as widows, I'll say that, is that we still want to dwell into the past of what happened. Meanwhile, when you are dwelling on that, you are delaying yourself. And whilst you are on that contemplating and everything, what about the children? What are you giving them? Because now you need to say, it happened, it was there. I am this person that I am today because of the situation. I am a mother who's still standing and saying that when I pass my bay to my children or to the young people that are coming, I know that I did well. You know, the record is straight. And when you pass it on, so it will be good. So this is where I am right now.
How do your kids, and we didn't speak much about them because really the focus was on your journey.
Yes.
But how did your kids deal with everything that happened and then losing their father and what you had to go through?
I remember my son called me and said, Mommy, we need to sit down. We need to discuss something.
And how old was he at the time?
The time he was 9. Yeah, he was 9. He said to me, we need to sit down. I said, what? Why do we have to sit down? He said, I've called my sisters, let's sit down. Let's talk. Why do you still keep the surname that abused you whilst dad was still alive and whilst dad is no longer? Could you kindly make it a point that you change the surname? Because this surname has brought a lot of misery to us. And you must remember, Lebo, when these things are happening, they don't care. They are doing it in the presence of the kids. You know, they didn't care about the kids. They were doing it, you know, in the presence of the kids. So now they are grown. They've seen what has been happening. And they said to me and say, Madam, if you still want to continue with those people, it's your own baby. Tina, cut us out.
So you decided to go back to your maiden surname?
Yes. Because, Lebu, I was told on a Sunday morning in a meeting, you know, Miss, we do have those family gatherings where we have to sit and talk about these things. I was told that, Sisi haunyala, ubuse magadi a rona. What does that say? It says that when you get married, you need to pay
To another
back
man, pay back.
our lobola.
How? But
So
that does not make sense to me.
No, it does.
Because the marriage happened and the person passed away.
Yes. Now I had to. And the other painful part was...
So you did it. You paid back the magadi.
No, if I pay back the magadi, then what was I there for? I served for that magadi. I served.
Because they can't give you your years back.
Yes, they can't give me my years back. They can't give me a lot of things back. I've served that magadi. And, you know, when my son was saying that, then it started hitting me to say, as much as he's my son, but I need to listen to him. I don't know his pain, but what he saw gave him the idea of saying, can we move away from this? Because when we go into this, there's pain into it. Every now and then there comes pain. When you call the surname, pain comes out, you know? So I said to them, I don't want you to be bitter, but I want you to be better. So for you to be better, if it pleases you, as my kids, then I will have to do what you... Because Mina, normally, originally I told myself, I'm going to leave the surname. Because I remember before Habi passed on, whilst he was sick, the brother came because he was coming to a meeting somewhere in the church. So he came by. And my husband asked him a question and say, are you going to tell me that this situation is going to be left like this? When I die, my wife and kids will be out. And the guy said, the brother answered and said, so leave them to grow together. Which by they've grown together, there's no relationship between me and them. Because I remember my dad tried to call them several times and say, can we come and sit down? Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this?
And it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
So looking then at the future, what's next for you?
Me, on the future.
Would you date again? Would you get married again?
Yes, I will definitely do that because I'm not going to deprive myself happiness because of the past. That's one thing that you need to know. Past is past, and past was education. Now, when you step into the new thing, you are already prepared. You know, I normally tell people that when you want to date, don't date a divorcee or a widowed woman. Because,
Why?
Because those people understand what they want.
Oh, I understand
Yes.
what you say. As in, you better know your
You
story.
better know your
if
story.
You're gonna, yes.
If you're gonna come to me, because not to say that there were no people who were coming. Some will tell me I've got money, and I'm like, okay, I do have my own money. So
Yes.
why are you here? I don't want your money. I want you, and I want to be loved. Nothing else. I've spent my years trying to accumulate this money. So here's the person gone. I've got my own money. I know how to make my own money. Be a husband.
What advice would you give to a woman, a young woman, or not even a not so young woman that is watching, who is thinking to herself, you know, after my husband passed away? What would you like to say to that woman, especially because that's the work that you do right now?
I would say to them, accept what happened to you and grieve as much as you can. Allow, because grieving has got stages. There's one thing that I told people. Grieving has got stages. There comes hatred in it. There comes, all these things, depression. I don't know how many times did I want to kill myself, So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of things, but you have to allow those things, to go through them, because they heal you, so that the next time when you have to move on, you don't have to look back and be afraid of, what if I get Brajo there, and then Brajo then, because there's this, I don't know, is it a norm or is it culture of men saying that when a woman is a widow, she's the best that you can get. They've got money, they've got all these things. Widows must also, because what I'm talking about, what I'm fighting for, it's for them. Because some of them, when you listen to them, they will tell you, I can't, I'm used to my husband. Your mind, your state of mind, it's not okay to move on, because you are going to mess up. We find issues where women are dating other, the widows are dating other men, and these men are just coming to just get married and take things. Those are the things that I deal with daily. So they need to sit down and, understand who they are. Because what I want to say is, when you are a widow, you lose yourself, you lose your identity, because your identity was your husband.
Being a wife.
Yes, being a wife, yes. And now it changes from that structure to say, you have to be the director, you have to be the mother, you have to be the transporter, all those things. Remember, there was somebody who was helping you out. Now this particular person is not there. There's a gap. You need to think about the children and say, I have to do it for them, because I'm not going to die, and leave my children to suffer.
I could listen to you all day, especially because you have so much life experience. But we're going to have to end it there. Thank you so much for talking to us. Really just for you to come out the way that you have. Not just the fact that you went through a troubled marriage and dealing with the dynamics with your in-laws, the fact that you lost a husband and that you find yourself where you are today. Thank you so much for being an inspiration and for talking to us.
Thanks, Slebs. I hope it will help.
I hope some of you have taken away from this conversation, because some of these things do happen in our homes, especially in African homes, where we believe you don't just marry the person, you marry their family. I hope you feel inspired, and I definitely hope that some of you feel helped. Talk to us, #Unpacked with Relebogile. Details on your screen. Have a good night.
Next time on Unpacked.
You know what I'm saying? Sishaya, lezi kuthiwa zithengiwe.
Setswana for me is just a component of that Africanism that I think the world wants to see us express more.
It's natural, man. Rastafari.
Pula!
Aine!
Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Television edited broadcasts weekdays at 5 p.m. Open up to S3.